Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08 and welcome to the 27th episode of my second 1 billion iron ingot challenge. In today's episode, I am going to alter both of my nuclear fission reactors from NuclearCraft to accept oxide fuels, and I'm actually going to have to make the oxide fuels before I do that. I'm really hoping that it will involve minimal tinkering with the actual reactor insides themselves, but we'll see when we get there. First thing I need to do is I actually need to go down to my void ore miner and I need to shut it off. And I did not mean to... Okay, so right here, this needs light. There we go. So I need to shut this off because I'm going to be shutting off both my reactors in turn, one at a time. But the thing is, I don't want to drain my capacitor upstairs of power, so I'm just going to go ahead and shut this off for right now. So that's nice and handy. So let's go back up. And if you'll notice, I built another basement in my NuclearCraft building right here. I will be working in here today a little bit. Probably not a whole lot, but I did add that because I need some more space for some stuff. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn this reactor off. Right now I am using the TBU fuel. What I will be using is I'm going to be using the TBU oxide fuel. So let's take a look at the differences here between the two fuels. First off, the TBU fuel produces 18 heat per tick. The oxide fuel produces 22.5 heat per tick. So there's 4.5 heat per tick difference per fuel cell. That is going to add up to be quite a bit of heat differential. So I am going to have to tinker with the reactor a little bit. But before I need to worry about that, let's go ahead and make the oxide fuels. So to actually make oxide fuels, I need to make oxygen, and to make oxygen, let's go ahead and see if we can't do this. We need an electrolyzer with water is by far the easiest way to do this. So when we use the electrolyzer on water, we get three outputs. We get hydrogen, deuterium, and oxygen. So we'll need places for the hydrogen and deuterium to go, as well as the oxygen, obviously. But I will be using the oxygen. The other two I won't be using, at least for right now. So let's go ahead and make some electrolyzers. I do have them automated because I knew I would be playing with them in this episode. So let's grab those. Actually, two more things I should grab while I'm doing this is some speed upgrades, and then some upgrades that I haven't talked about yet because I didn't know about them until like literally about 24 hours ago. Energy upgrades. Energy upgrades are pretty great because if we shift on this, decreases the processing power of machines. It just decreases the power consumption of machines. I would have worded that differently, but that's what it does. It just decreases the power consumption of machines, and these are super useful, especially when used with lots and lots of speed upgrades. Because when you start to stack a bunch of speed upgrades in NuclearCraft machines, they start to absolutely drink power. So with these energy upgrades, we can kind of tune that down a little bit, and obviously that's a really good thing. I also want to grab some water for these guys. I have the dense infinite water sources now. Basically, they're just 8 of the compact infinite water sources, and the compact infinite water sources are basically just 8 infinite water sources. So we need to find a place to set this up, and we can kind of do it anywhere, to be honest. I think let's just go ahead and do it over here. I'm trying to think the best way to do this. You know what, let's do the electrolyzer something like, actually, that won't work very well either. Because I need, maybe if I, you know what, let's just do it something like right here. And I'm doing it away from the wall because I need to attach flux duct, I need to have the water sources beside them, and then I also need somewhere to actually get the fluids out. So first off, let's do the flux duct. I think we'll do the water on top. So these things go pretty slow. Right now they take 40 RF per tick. So let's just throw in, say, a half stack of speed upgrades. they will be using 22,000 RF per tick. That's obviously unacceptable. If I throw in a bunch of energy upgrades, they only use 1,020 RF per tick, which is perfectly acceptable, and they're still 33 times faster than normal, so that would be great. Let me see if I can't make... How many of these energy upgrades can I make? If I can, I'm going to put 20 of them in each of the electrolyzers. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. In addition, let's grab some black hole tanks because I need tanks for these 3 fluids to flow into. So there we go. I should probably grab some fluid filters, and I don't have those automated yet, so I might as well go ahead and do that right now. So just type in filter, fluid filter, and that's actually a pretty easy recipe. If I have enough paper. I'm not sure I do. Yeah, I kind of thought so. So I should be able to automate paper as well, because I think I have some sugarcane. Not really sure how much, but I do have some, so that's good. I will definitely have to keep an eye on that, but I should be okay. So I need 3 filters. And what I'm going to be using to move the fluids is Ender Fluid Conduit. Actually, I don't know if that's what it's actually called. It's not. It's called Ender. It is called Ender Fluid Conduit. I just can't see things apparently. So it's right here, and one of the things is, or one of the good traits about this thing is that it allows multiple fluids to be transported on the same line. So I can have oxygen, I can have hydrogen and deuterium all flowing through the same Ender Fluid conduits. So that's fantastic. Okay, so I need to find a place for all of this. Okay, so we should have some over here. Yes, we do. So let's grab those energy upgrades if I have them. Like I said, I want to do 20 in each of the electrolyzers. So let's do that. We'll do 32, 20. And then I don't have all the speed upgrades over here yet. So let's grab some more speed upgrades. These are really simple to craft. The inner energy upgrades, which I haven't gone over the recipe yet, they are the only expensive thing here for me anyways is the pulverized obsidian. I have everything else pretty much in spades. The gold and the crushed quartz is really easy for me to get, but the obsidian I don't have a source of yet. But I could always do that in the future, and I probably will at some point. Anyways, so I need to get these in a tank somewhere. I might as well just go ahead and... I'm not really sure where I should put the tanks. So I think I'm just going to put the tanks over here. It's not going to be like the best location in the world, but it should definitely work. So I'm going to get rid of that connection. I'm going to put in my filters first off over here on the inserts. And actually, I will need to use the extraction in the future, but for right now, I'm not going to. Let's get these. Okay, let's set up these filters. Okay, make sure, first off, I'm going to make sure the tanks are empty. Okay, so the filters, let's look up hydrogen. There we go, hydrogen is whitelisted. On this one, we can do deuterium. And on this one will be the oxygen one. And we need to make sure to choose the oxygen from NuclearCraft and not the oxygen from IndustrialCraft. So there we go. All of the filters are set, so I should be able to tell these to extract. And we should see the fluid levels going down. We should see hydrogen here, deuterium here, and oxygen there. Fantastic. So now we actually will need to get the oxygen out, but actually, before I do that, I should probably set up my crafting mechanism. So to make TBU oxide fuel, it's actually going to be rather easy. All we need to do is we need to get a fluid infuser with TBU fuel. So what we can do is we can actually build the fluid infuser like right here. So let me grab my wrench, can wrench that away, and then I actually have these automated. So apparently I have to wait on ferroboron, but that's okay. So there we go. This will be insert on green, and then I need to set this to be extract always on. Okay, so we should have the TBU fuel in it. Now I just need to get the oxygen over here. That is not going to be difficult, I don't think. I can just run ender fluid conduit up here. Actually, what I'm going to do is axe these connections and run this down. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I will set this up to extract always on. That should have, once I set this up, I should have oxygen flowing into here. What is going on here? Always on, extract. Oh, that's what's going on. It's not connected. That'll make all the difference in the world. Okay, so the TBU oxide fuel should be being crafted. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up just a little bit. I don't need to speed it up a lot, I don't think. So let me grab some upgrades. And I'll go for 10 at first. I'm actually quite sure that that's going to be more than enough. I'm going to also grab a few of these, although they're probably completely unnecessary. Before I commit to anything, let's just look. 1,320 hour per tick. The thing is, I don't think this will be running full time because I'm pretty sure the reactor upstairs will use the fuel faster than this, or this will produce fuel faster than the reactor upstairs can use it. But just to be safe, yeah, let's go ahead anyways. So yeah, there's quite a big difference there. It halves the fuel consumption, just one of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick one of them in and call that good. Okay, so this does have a direct line to the reactor, but the reactor already has other fuel in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that fuel. And we should see more TBU oxide fuel flowing in. There we go. So I'm going to watch this carefully until it finishes its burn. And then the TBU oxide fuel should take over. And yes, I'm going to need to make some considerable changes to this reactor. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's rip open the side of this thing. Okay, so this side I don't think will be very good to do the changes on, but I think I can do some stuff over here. Yes, because I have the fuel rods all the way until the end, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to rip off this end layer. Okay, so that should be good. Do want to go ahead and get rid of all this. That way I can just work a little bit easier on this. Actually, before I do the last one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this end chunk off. Okay, so I should have just a little bit up here. Okay, that's good. Now let's get rid of the rest of this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do lapis on the end here. And actually, you know what? I think I forgot something that I can do over here. Absolutely. I can put 10 coolers in between all of these Lapis Coolers here. I totally spaced out on that. And okay, so let's get started. I am going to grab some Lapis Coolers. I am going to grab some 10 coolers. And I'm going to need more than that. Let's go ahead and craft a couple hundred of them. And then let's get placing. So what I'm going to do is on the end of these fuel rods here, I'm just going to replace them. I'm going to put Lapis Coolers. If I can aim. Actually, it might be easier if I do something like this. And then build down. I'm thinking that this alone should be enough to get me to where I need to be. Because I am taking away a little bit of heat by shearing off the end of the fuel rods here. And then I am definitely adding more cooling by adding these Lapis Coolers and then the 10 coolers as well. So let's grab those 10 coolers. Looks like I made more than I really needed, to be honest. That's okay. So once again, I'm going to start at the top and then build down. And these 10 coolers have to be between 2 Lapis Coolers, and obviously they are. So they should work fine. Okay, so I'm done over here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this up. I should actually grab a wand here in a second once I get that done. Okay, so let me grab a wand. And then I should be able to cover this bad boy up, and then I'll take a look at what the heat output is. Okay, so it looks like I have all of the casings. And let's go ahead and build this back. Casing incomplete. So I'm missing a block, at least one block somewhere. Where could you be? Oh, and there's our answer. Okay, so we're still positive on heat, which is a bad sign. I was really thinking that would be a little bit closer. Let's go up here. I'm going to need to do more than just add some 10 coolers here, because that's not going to be enough. Not quite sure what might work here. Oh shoot, did not mean to get rid of that. I'll deal with that later. Okay, so I'm gonna switch this to single block mode just to make things a little bit faster. Now I am going to add some 10 coolers and then see where I'm at. Might have to get a little bit tricky to get this to work. I really thought this would be a little bit closer. Oh, I can't build these over here. Whoops. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cover up the reactor. I am going to be short. I know I'm going to not have enough heat dissipation, but I'm going to see where I'm at. And then I'm probably going to go off camera and come up with a plan, because I'm not really sure what I'm going to need to do to tackle this. I'm sure it can be done fairly simply. I just need to figure out a plan. So yeah, I'm 6,000 and 7 positive heat right now. Obviously, if we look at the RF generation, it is well up, so that's going to be good. So I'm probably going to have to take out some fuel rods or something, but I'm going to go off camera, come up with a plan, and once I do that, I will be right back. Okay, I am finally back, and I believe I've come up with a solution, but it is kind of a complicated solution. Although, luckily for me, it didn't involve any more destruction inside the reactor. It actually just involves some new construction. So, in my reactor, along the top edges and the bottom edges, along the 8 of the corner edges here, I actually had some dead space, and it looked like this. So what I went ahead and did, and I believe this will be enough to cool the reactors, is I actually added 2 fuel cells, or reactor cells, and that's pretty much because a lot of the coolers are required to be beside the reactor cells to function. Next, I have some Lapis Coolers, and Lapis Coolers need to be beside reactor cells as well as the reactor casing, which obviously they are. And then Tin Cooler right here, it just needs to be between 2 Lapis Coolers. I have redstone on the ends here, or not quite on the ends, but they just need to be beside reactor cells. They're definitely not the best coolers, but having the redstone coolers allows me to use liquid helium coolers, which are required to be beside 1 redstone cooler right here, exactly 1 redstone cooler, and then at least 1 reactor casing, which will be right here. So adding this to my reactor should allow it to be just under the 0 threshold for heat, and so I should be able to run this thing. So let's go ahead and take a look. That is awfully close, but obviously what I want to see. So that's fantastic. This thing makes more power now, and it will run, yeah, and it won't blow up. So what I need to do is I need to stick the lever back on this bad boy, and we can go ahead and fire this up because it is ready to go. So let's take a gander down here. Let's see how this is going. So I was hoping to see some extra oxygen here. I do see it now. One thing I did between the last 2 breaks is I actually added more speed upgrades, and that's because I wasn't making enough oxygen, because I will need oxygen for this system, and then I'm going to need oxygen for this system over there as well. So let's gear up and get ready for that. Now, one thing I should definitely mention is that in the reactor upstairs, I actually changed the fuels, which is going to make this transition just a little bit easier. Originally, I had this at LEU 233 fuel, and that produced 60 heat per tick, and I changed it between episodes to the LEU 235 fuel, which produces 50 heat per tick. So keep in mind that the design of the reactor was originally for 60 heat per tick. Now, the oxide fuel that I will be using, the LEU 235 oxide fuel, it produces 62.5 heat per tick. So basically, there's going to be a minimal heat increase here. And let's see how much heat we have to play with. Minus 20,000. This reactor is going to be really close to being good to go without any tinkering at all. It will probably require a little bit of tinkering, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm actually going to have to rebuild this system because once I start getting the TBU fuel, the Oxide fuel, I will actually get different outputs from the isotope separator or from the fuel reprocessor. So let's go ahead and throw this in here. I won't need this anymore. So let's throw these in here. I will actually get Oxide variants of the clumps. So let's take a look at these. And let's actually sort them out real fast. So 233, 233. Okay, I was looking for 235. Here's the 235 oxide. So real fast what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to tell this to be the 233 oxide. This will be the 235 oxide. This will be the 238 oxide, which I don't have any yet. This will be some Neptunium 236 oxide, and this will be 237. So what I should go ahead and do for these ones that I'm not using quite yet is I need to set them to a negative priority. The ones that I will be using, I need to set to a positive priority. And then I actually need to hook this up, and that will be a simple matter of getting one covered cable and doing that. So these will become active here in a second. So that's fantastic. So yeah, I'm getting quite a bit of stuff. Are they active yet? Yes, they are. So I can go ahead and dump those in. In addition, I need to come down here. I will probably need to rip these up. I think what I'm gonna... Okay, so let's just get rid of all the exports here. I've already done that over there. Actually, no, this one will actually need to remain the same, because I can still use the uranium-238 for that. I just need to... Actually, let's go ahead and sort this inventory. It's kind of a mess. Okay, so I can still use the uranium-238. It is the 235 that I need to change. I will need the oxide variant here. So let's just get rid of all this. And as well as this. And then this. And this. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw this in the system for right now. What I need to do is I need to hit forget right now, and then I need to hit remember again. I don't want this extra uranium coming in here. I should have done that last. Anyways, I need the uranium-235, or the oxide variant, so let's grab that. I don't have a whole lot of it right now, but that's okay. So the recipe is not going to be this. It is going to be... I mean, it's practically the same. It's just using the oxide variant. So then we'll come over here, and then we'll do this. So we can fit that in. We'll hit remember, and then we need to change this to use this. Cool. Fantastic. So now we should be getting the oxide fuel. One thing I should go ahead and do is I should go out to this reactor and I should shut it off real fast. Actually, yeah, let's pull that out. The new fuel should come in. Let's turn it on. Look, I don't even have to make any alterations to this reactor. That's fantastic. So this reactor will produce quite a bit more power now. Before it was running at 90,000 RF per tick. Originally, when I had the LE233 fuel in it, it was running at, I think, 120,000 RF per tick. So now this reactor will run at 130,000 RF per tick, and the one downstairs is going to run at 156,000 RF per tick, which actually more than makes up for the extreme amount of power that these electrolyzers use, which is quite a bit, but that's okay because now we're producing quite a bit more power. So let's go ahead and put this stuff away. I need to do one more thing, and once we get one of the depleted fuel, there we go, we have it. So I need to go ahead and get rid of the... I can go ahead and get rid of that. I can also go ahead and get rid of that. Let's go ahead and throw this in here. Let's see what we get from that. I believe we get some plutonium and some stuff. So plutonium oxide. Yeah, those are the two things we get. So let's go ahead and set up these these storage buses. So this is Neptunium. Okay, so this will be the 239 oxide. No, this will be for 238. Plutonium 238 is pretty uncommon, but it is a thing. So I'm going to leave this storage bus for the 238 variant of plutonium. So this will be 239 plutonium. We can set it to be positive 1000. And then this will be for the 241 variant. Positive 1000 again. And then let's go ahead and set these to negative 1000 again. And then I can go ahead and hook that up as well. So I think this is a pretty good wrapping up point. After I throw this in here. Okay, I'm not really sure why these aren't accepting anything. Looks like these ones are working fine. Take that back. This one's not working. I think for whatever reason, sometimes these things become temperamental. and sometimes replacing them will fix it. Did not mean to do that. Okay, that might fix it. Let's see if that fixes it. Okay, so that one's working fine. Jury's still out on that one. That one's working. That one's working. This one's not set up yet. Oh shoot, did I just do that? I did. Okay, so let me go ahead and pick these up, and sometimes resetting them works. So this will be the, yes. Okay, that appears to work. For whatever reason, it didn't want to accept things, so sometimes just putting it in the crafting table and recrafting it resets its, I don't know if it's meta value or what, but anyways, it seems to be working fine now, so that's cool. So yeah, in today's episode, I set up electrolyzers to make oxygen, and that is because I wanted to oxygenate my fuels. Oxide fuels produce more power. They also produce more heat, which we had to deal with in this reactor, but it's no biggie. We got it done. So now we have more power. We have, basically we're using our fuels more efficiently because we're adding oxygen. So in the future, the main reason why I did this is because I want to use MOX fuels in the future, and I realized MOX stands for mixed oxide fuel. You need plutonium oxides to make these fuels, and I was not going to be getting plutonium oxides running non-oxide fuels, so I decided to go ahead and oxygenate them. I know I said, I think last episode even, that I might not do this whole series, and then I go ahead and do this in the very next episode. But anyways, if you liked today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation type stuff in modded Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.